you designed the weavr interface.
Yes.
Which is great. Do you want to take people through the process that your thinking process of how do you design an interface?
Well, that's very interesting. This topic is, of course, designing for VR is groundbreaking. It's actually everything's possible. So it's a difficult task to really achieve a user-friendly interface, let's say. Our standpoint was that we needed to design an interface which is usable, user-friendly on all devices, which means it needs to be usable on a cardboard, like on a cell phone. It needs to be usable on the high-end devices like Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, which obviously come with room tracking, room scale, and controllers. So you can actually point and click at stuff in space, where opposed to as you have in a cell phone, it's only working with gazing at objects, so you have no control with your hands, let's say. Well, this kind of changed now with the Google Daydream, because they added a controller as well to their headset, which is, I haven't tried it yet, but it's supposed to be a really nice experience because you're mobile, you're not connected with wires, so that's a very important thing as well. VR is typically a standing experience, so it's mostly recommended that when you're inside VR that you're standing upright. There are some studies on the internet which I've read about that the human muscles actually, that's difficult to explain, but your neck muscles, they tend to be easier. You can turn your head left and right easier when you're standing up than when you're sitting down. You should actually give this a try, but it's actually true. So we designed our experiences to be standing up as well. So you're standing on a platform which is floating in space, where you can have like you can see a UI, a user interface all around you. So basically, we tried to create an operating system. I like to call it an operating system. It's not really there yet, but I believe the future, I mean, VR in the future and AR in the future needs an operating system. This is the kind of thing I've been keeping in the back of my mind since I designed it from the very beginning, that we can always build upon the user interface we have right now and then enrich it with additional features later on as the technology gets more advanced. But so these were the main things I had to keep in mind designing. So basically human ergonomics and field of view and how people actually interact with things in the real world. That's the main thing. I mean, the most important thing I had to do during the design. What else can I tell you about it? I tried to make it as natural as possible. So a good UI is a UI where you don't need to think about what you're doing. It needs to come naturally. It needs to satisfy the user, and yeah, it doesn't need to be, I mean, you cannot make it too complex, especially if everybody needs to use it. And since VR is a new medium, we need to start simple, keep it simple, and build upon this. Yeah.